we've got our charge door in the back as well. And looking at charging for the vehicle, we are a plug-in version for the Aviator, so it's a plug-in hybrid. Looking at charge time, we've got a few different options that are available depending on if we're doing level 1 or level 2 charging. Because the Aviator does come with a charge cable that supports either 120 or 240, which is great. So it's either a level 1 or 2 charge, which is amazing. Now, one of the crazy things is that we also do have a time setting available. And the great thing about that time setting is that you can literally have it charge up at certain times of the day. And you can even set up for certain charge locations, which is amazing. So if you're at home, you can have it charged specifically overnight when we get cheaper electricity rates. Always a nice thing. And then we do have a few different options available, looking at different charge times and things like that. We've got indicator lights that are going to adjust dynamically just based off of how full the battery is inside of this thing. But I had mentioned it earlier, looking at available range inside of the hybrid, we're going to be a 21-mile or roughly 34-kilometer range when we're fully charged up. And it is strictly a plug-in hybrid when we look at the base Grand Touring. When you get inside of the black label, we've got higher performance brakes inside of this, which also gives it regenerative braking. So you still will technically need to plug it in, but just knowing that as you're braking in that black label trim, you also will give a little bit of a trickle charge to that battery. Now, looking at some specific options for the Grand Touring version of the vehicle. So on the main screen along the very bottom, we've got two different settings there. So our power flow as well as our charge settings. So if we look at the power flow, we can literally see exactly what's going on. So the engine is currently on due to the battery charging and the drive power. So you can hear the engine going right now, versus if we were in electric mode, that would obviously look different. And then we've also got our charge settings. So charge settings, as you can see, so time to fully charge, 3 hours at 240 or 10.8 hours on the 120, which is insane. So it was a little bit off there when I was outside. I said it was going to be 6 to 8 hours, a little bit longer than that. But we've got our base charge preferences, so we can have the time set up, which is great. So if we literally had a location set up here, we could set up certain times for when this thing's going to charge. Yeah, so must be at current charge location, so we need to actually be there. And we've also got our departure time set up. So it's interesting because the charge time setup, it looks fairly similar to this, but what you'd be able to do is set up what time you're going to be able to charge this thing up at different locations. So if you're at home, you can literally have it set up so that it's going to charge up during a certain time. We've got our departure time set up also, so this thing literally can precondition the cabin. So we can literally set up what times we typically leave, different times of the day, and we can clear it off, we can save it, we can have our cabin temperature automatically set up as well. So that's great because the vehicle literally will turn itself on, it'll precondition the cabin for us, so when we get inside the vehicle, it's ready to go. So I love the fact that we've got that flexibility to be able to do it. We can clear all if we wanted to go that route.